Hello, and welcome to the 8th edition of Full Moon's Videozone. It looks like we've created another family of bizarre characters with the demonic toys. I've got a few personal favorites, especially Baby Oopsie Daisy, Foul-Mouthed Baby Oopsie Daisy, and Jack-in-the-Box. So I hope these characters continue, and we're actually thinking about teaming the demonic toys up with the puppets in Puppet Master 4. The puppets turn good in Puppet Master 4, and of course I think it'd be neat to have the demonic toys as their awful little adversaries. So that's going to come up sometime probably in the fall of 1992. We're currently shooting Dr. Mordred, which is really pretty spectacular. Jeffrey Combs is starring, and it deals with the exploits of a warlock, a good magician, much like Mandrake the Magician and Doctor Strange, and he fights things not only here on Earth, but a really strong enemy in another dimension. What's really exciting about Mordred is our association again with David Allen. We have two huge dinosaur skeletons doing battle that are brought to life by Mordred on one hand and an evil warlock on the other. And much like Jason and the Argonauts by Ray Harryhausen, these skeletons do battle, and the scene should be pretty unique and exciting. We've just completed principal photography on Seed People, which is similar in a way of Invaders from Mars and Invasion of the Body Snatchers. It uses a technology called morphine, which of course I'm sure you've all seen now, not only in Terminator 2, but some of the really great effects on Michael Jackson's latest rock video, Black and White. I don't want to give away too much of the story, but needless to say, these seed creatures become seed people, and no one knows who's who, and I think the picture's going to be very effective. We also just finished shooting a film called Bad Channels, and Bad Channels is really a bizarre collection of new ideas, rock videos. It stars Martha Quinn from MTV, amongst many other interesting character actors, but it really involves a bizarre alien from another planet who collects Earth women by shrinking them down to about 12 inches. We're looking forward to making Subspecies 2. That's one of our projects coming up next year. Ted Nicolau's directing again. You know, Ted did the original and went to Romania, but this time he doesn't have as far to go. Subspecies 2 takes place in San Francisco, in Chinatown. Radu, what's left of him, as well as the subspecies and the other principal characters, will all be in this vampire tale. Our biggest production for 1992 is Robot Wars. After doing a film called Robot Jocks a few years ago at the end of my tenure at Empire, I've always wanted to do another picture in that vein, do it better, with a better story and the same great robot technology created by David Allen. In this particular film, a robot runs amok and begins to destroy a small town, and of course a good robot's got to come in, always piloted by a human being. We're, as we speak, creating some incredible new robots and tricks to make sure that Robot Wars is really the best of the robot films to date. Full Moon has put 9 pictures in the can in 1991. It's been a literal production blur, and we plan to do one better next year and make 10 feature films in 92. That's as many as we can make. I'm glad you guys are all enjoying them. We love receiving the letters, and I'll see you on the next edition of Videozone.
Some things are just hell to play with, especially in Full Moon Entertainment's latest offering from the Devil's Toy Box, Demonic Toys. Although Demonic Toys is director Peter Manoogian's first film for Full Moon, he has a long history with Mr. Full Moon, Charles Band.
All the films I've directed are films I've done with Charlie, really. So The Eliminators, Enemy Territory, the third one was Arena. They were all done with Charlie. They're all, well, they're different, actually. I'm pleased that they're different.
Cut! Cut it! Wake up! Very nice!
It's like an ensemble cast. They all are so good and they work so well together that I really think that you can't help but get caught up in the story and the plight of these people.
There's no way out of here till the morning.
But we can't wait till the morning. That thing's getting stronger by the minute.
Tracy Scoggins of Dynasty fame plays Judith Gray, a courageous policewoman whom is about to give birth to a little devil.
When I read the script, I thought, now how is a teddy bear going to scare anybody? How's a Jack-in-the-Box going to scare anybody? And after I saw the toys, I had nightmares about them that night. They really do the trick. I like scary movies. I like science fiction type movies, and I go to them. And I think this is a winner.
Besides working with killer toys, Bentley Mitchum, he's Robert Mitchum's grandson, had some fun working on demonic toys.
Yeah, it's kind of like Puppet Masters meets Child's Play, and they threw in little aspects of The Shining here and there. It's the first movie I've ever got hooked up to a jerk chain, and it pulled me through the air about 10 feet. Felt like I was flying. It was pretty cool.
Hi, Mark.
Angelic Daniel Cherney plays the evil demon child. Who did he use for his role model?
I kind of try to think of my brother, how he is. He's really mean, so I kind of watch what he does and do what he does.
Does he now find his own toys scary?
The first time I started filming, when I was sleeping in my bed, I have 20,000 stuffed animals all around my bed. You can even ask my dad. I was kind of scared to go to sleep because I was afraid what they'd do. I thought like they'd jump on me or something. But I think it's a pretty rad story. I think it's good. I win. I win. War.
William Thorne plays the little angel that saves the day.
I'm like this kid. He's like a fairy boy from heaven, and I'm able to control a toy.
After working on this film, do his own toys frighten him?
Tiny bit. I just stay away from him for like 30 minutes.
It's the toys. They're alive.
Ellen Dunning plays Anne, the homeless teenager trapped in the toy warehouse. She was terrified by the toys, especially the baby doll.
Don't look now! It's like it looks so sweet and innocent when it's just sitting there, and then when it comes to life, it's a whole nother character. It's just so wild and trippy. It's definitely scary. Terrorsome. It's like the toy that lives underneath your bed when you're a little girl. All of a sudden it's coming to life right before your eyes, and you're like, oh my God. It's real. It's really happening. And then you have to go home and forget about it, so.
They're evil spirits, you know.
I don't believe in evil spirits.
Well, you better.
Another toy that looks so sweet and innocent is a little teddy bear. But teddy bears don't stay sweet for long in full moon films. And inside our teddy bear is a giant teddy bear killing to get out. And inside the giant killer bear is special effects actor Mike Deek.
What we're doing right now is I have to get into the suit. And in order to do that, we're just powdering it up there so it slides in real nice. And after a few hours on the hot set, it smells a little better than it would otherwise.
The fur is all synthetic. No animals have been killed for the fabrication of this suit.
Well, there's a spandex bodysuit underneath this whole thing. And it's covered with foam latex and foam pieces to make the muscle and the various mutated skin area.
In special effects creatures, two heads are often better than one.
This one here is a stunt head. It's hollow rubber, so that when Mike's head goes up against the wall or something, the padding will protect him and everything. This one inside here has a fiberglass underskull and some mechanics in it, and the jaw will open and close when Mike opens his jaw.
Does anybody know where they're actually shooting right now?
One of the brightest stars of demonic toys is special effects wizard John Beekler, who created and designed the little monsters. Is it a coincidence that his creations resemble their master?
I'm often accused of making creatures with big brows because I have a massive brow myself. And I think if you look at Baby Oopsie, there's a rather intense brow there. Mr. Clown has a rather intense brow, and Teddy Bear doesn't have a little brow either. What we utilized here is a technology whereby we can very simply articulate the features through little hand controls. It's also operated from inside like a hand puppet. It sort of looks a little bit like Jack Nicholson, doesn't it? Wait till they get a load of me. Another little character in the show is the Jack-in-the-Box. very demented little kind of guy. And again, we're using a very simple technology, Stone Age technology. The puppet is articulated with a hand and an arm. But Bert and Ernie never looked like this. These weren't simply creatures. These were characters that required performance, and performance gives life. And these guys certainly have life on the screen. And the secret is that they're all toys. They have to look like they're somewhere between a fabricated little plastic thing that has no menace and an organic thing.
Demonic toys. Playtime will never be safe again. From Full Moon Entertainment.
My background being in rock and roll, I feel I have a strong sense of melody. And melody works in a film score the same way that it works in a rock tune, is that it pushes the film along the same way that a melody in a rock tune actually pushes the song along. So I feel that that's why I like to give a lot of these rock guys a break, because they're so melody conscious. A score is like a series of songs. It's 2 or 3 different themes that reoccur through the film. And a lot of these rock guys know, as the same way they write an album, that they can write these scores for these films, and it works. Bad Channels is a real fun project. We're just half wrapping up the feature music now, and the biggest challenge was actually finding the groups, finding 3 groups from total different areas of music who fit the qualifications, that they were very visually interesting, they had something to say in their music, and also the music itself fit different formats of radio. For example, we have Psychotic Symphony, who are like a demented heavy metal devo, and they're what you'd call cutting-edge kind of music. They're out there. I expect them to be a huge band one day. I feel lucky to have them on our soundtrack and in our film. We have a group called Fair Game that has a male lead singer and 4 female backup musicians. Something very, very unique, and I thought that musically and visually, they're a very interesting group, because I've never seen anything like that. And the third band, DMT, which stands for Dracula Milquetoast, is a brand new band out of San Francisco. They have that Seattle kind of a sound. It's like a hard sonic attack. All of our scores are traditional in the sense that we don't do anything way off and wild. There'll be timeless scores. There'll be timeless pieces of music that'll endure over the years and won't seem trendy. For example, we wouldn't use a rap score or a hip-hop score. It's not the kind of business that we're in. We stay traditional, so that what works in 1980 will work in 1990 and the year 2000.
Posters have always been the most effective way of attracting movie audiences, playing on their imaginations with as much sex, violence, and action that the artist can draw into his renderings. In Hollywood's golden age, most posters were painted, glorious compositions which now have given way to photo collages. Artist Lee McLeod has combined the best of both techniques. Turning movie stills into airbrushed paintings, he's illustrated Charles Band's imagination from the empire days of The Alchemist to every full moon picture, from Puppet Master to demonic toys. Now, Lee McLeod has opened his studio to show us the secrets of full moon poster art with his work for Subspecies 2.
Okay, Charlie Band and I have come up with an idea for the Subspecies 2 artwork. We discussed it in his office, and we've decided that it should be the subspecies carrying off Radu's head in an elaborate case from a tramp steamer. In the background, we'll see the San Francisco skyline and part of the bay. In the foreground on the wharf will be these 4 subspecies. Now I'll take the pictures that I'm going to use in the final artwork. Now that I've gotten the pictures developed, I'm going to put them here in the artograph. project them down so I can put together the comprehensive drawing the facts to Charlie. I turn the artograph on here. I turn down the room lights here. And move into white paper and start to trace this off. Ever since Norman Rockwell started using projection, all other realistic illustrators have had to follow suit. When I'm finished with this drawing here, I'll take it to my drawing table, and then I'll do the original part of this drawing where I figure out where the wharf goes, where the water is, where the skyline is. Basically flesh this thing out before I send it over to Charlie Band. Now that I have the subspecies blocked in, working over the tracing that I did earlier, I'm indicating the chest, and then on top of the chest, I'll put Radu's head as if it were coming out, which I've done as a paste up so that I can adjust the proportions in case I need to. Now I'm going to add the perspective lines in, work up the back part of the pier, figure out where the water's going to go, and then I think I'll run a plank up over here to sort of frame the piece, work the skyline on across. Have to make sure to remember to put in the Transamerica Tower so we know this is San Francisco. Okay, I've pretty much finished up adding all the values, and now I'll send this over to Charlie Band, and when I get approval from him, then I'll move on to the photo composite stage. Charlie's approved it, and the photo composition is all put together. Now I have a negative made, and then we make a 20 by 30 print, and that's where the real artwork begins. I have my 20 by 30 print back. Now I'm going to frisk it off the rest of the illustration and leaving only the sky exposed. One of my more valuable tools is the airbrush. It allows me to do those smooth, naturalistic gradations that are so necessary for work of this kind. I'm going to start up here on the sky. The airbrush allows me to do very smooth gradations here. I'm starting at the top of the board and working my way down. Basically, it's creating an atmospheric perspective for me. If I turn it down and decrease the size of the opening, I can go in a lot finer and make the clouds and other things that would appear in the sky. Try to give it some atmosphere and some mood. And once this goes to the printer, you'll see the final result on the Subspecies 2 poster. I really enjoy working for Full Moon Entertainment. It's always a challenge to try to flesh out Charlie Band's ideas, to come up with new worlds, new monsters, and new supernatural effects. I think that posters really help sell a fantasy film, and it's a real joy to contribute to the genre. Now, back to Videozone.
The makers of Puppet Master and Reanimator take you to a time of madness.
Mercy!
Arrest her. An inquisitor's lust, a woman's innocence. His battle for her soul will create evil's ultimate weapon.
Look up!
The pit and the pendulum.
No one escaped! No one!
The Pit and the Pendulum, now on video cassette from Full Moon Entertainment. In the dark past, humans were their prey. And blood was their life. Now in modern-day Transylvania, eternal evil has reawakened.
I'm afraid for you.
Subspecies, now on video cassette. Jack Death, the future cop, is back and on the transfer attack.
They're biodegradable.
He's got old enemies.
I want fresh blood.
New lovers.
I happen to be his wife. So am I.
Ladies, please!
And a dead aim.
20th century must be getting to you.
You have no idea.
Transfers 2, now on video cassette from Full Moon Entertainment.
Andre Toulon only wanted to entertain children.
Herr Toulon has developed a method of animating his puppets without string. It's as if they were alive.
Now, the Nazis will turn his puppets into toys of terror. World War II has just gotten smaller.
You think I'm afraid of this? You will be afraid.
Puppet Master 3. On Arturo's, Brick Bardo is the toughest cop around. On Earth, he's the size of a doll.
Homies together, we're going to war. Are you in the wrong neighborhood?
Doll Man, 13 inches, with an attitude. Now on video cassette from Full Moon Entertainment.
Hi, Full Moon fans. I'm Charlie Spradling. You may recognize me from Full Moon's Puppet Master 2 and Meridian, but right now I'm in this wonderful creature effect shop. This is where some of our Full Moon monsters are born, and I'm also going to let you in on the newest and the coolest collector's items. Moonstone Records is rising up the charts. You should rush right down to your nearest record store and get our newest release of Netherworld. This original soundtrack features blues songs by Edgar Winters and instrumentals by Bon Jovi's keyboardist David Bryan. Netherworld is sure to rock you, and so are other tapes and CDs for films such as Puppet Master, The Pit and Pendulum, Meridian, and Subspecies. When you rent our Full Moon videos, don't forget to ask for our trading cards. We've just come out with a new series for Puppet Master 3 and Doll Man. They have great paintings on the front, and when you flip them over, they'll tell you everything you ever wanted to know about our creatures, from six-shooter to Spruik. They're really cool. They say that our Full Moon movies are just like comic books, and we couldn't agree more. That's why Charles Band commissioned Malibu Graphics to do adaptions of our films. On the stands right now are Doll Man and Demonic Toys. Your comic store should also have back issues of Children of Puppet Master, Subspecies, and Trancers, all in full bloody color. If you want to own one of Andre Toulon's puppets, you can get the limited edition model kits of the dolls from Puppet Master Films. These beautifully sculpted versions of Blade, Tunneler, Pinhead, Torch, and Six-Shooter come with a certificate of authenticity and instructions on how to make the puppets come to life with your paintbrush. Back at Full Moon, we just received our new t-shirts for the latest releases, Netherworld, Doll Man, and Puppet Master 3. They're great t-shirts. They come with the original Full Moon logo and beautiful paintings on the back for each film. And if you love the artwork on the back of the t-shirts, be sure and order our original movie posters. But the best way to find out about all the great things happening here at Full Moon is to join the fan club. For $20, you'll get this great Full Moon Company t-shirt and Moonflash, our quarterly newsletter that tells you all the inside scoops on the films that we're making, future projects, and a chance at collector's items that I can't even talk about. For more information, you can call the Full Moon hotline at 1-800-999-9559 or write to Full Moon Entertainment, P.O. Box 526, 8721, Santa Monica Boulevard, West Hollywood, California, 90069. Keep sending me those fan letters and stay tuned for the next edition of Videozone. Bye-bye.